And
Mm-hmm.
so I would imagine there's something in psychotherapy that you just feel like if you're speaking to someone and they're actually hearing you, and you're seeing that in their questions and in their acknowledgments, that is there just an element that it helps because you feel less alone?
Mm-hmm. So this is great. So what you, at least how I'm hearing you say it, is this is let me back up for 1 second. So when we think about like psychotherapy, the way that I like to think about it is sort of this, there's this concept of equifinality, so that there are multiple ways, multiple pathways to get to the same end.
Right.
So in psychotherapy, there are lots of things that are sort of simultaneously happening, or that can be simultaneously happening, that can get to the same end. And so there are several mechanisms, if you will, that are facilitating change or improvement of mental health stuff or whatever in the client. Now, depending on the given session, on the given therapist, on the given client, and the given problem, not all of them are going to be operating with all clients at all times or anything like that. But one of the things that psychotherapy researchers have argued is that helps about psychotherapy is every human has a need to belong or be connected or whatever. So
Right.
when you look across lots of just, human needs research and theory and stuff, lots of different theories, lots of different approaches or frameworks, that sort of need to belong, need to be connected, that shows up all the time.
Hmm.
Right? Because I mean, humans are social. We kind of need each other. It's kind of built into what we are and what we do. And so, at least what I'm hearing you say when you're talking to those young folks is that just from them, just by you being curious and being there and listening and genuinely caring, right? So like they have to feel like you genuinely care. If they just felt like you were patronizing them or you were just using them, they would not feel that way, right?
Right.
So you obviously conveyed to them, or they experienced you, right, as a grown-up man who cares about what I'm saying to him. And so
Right.
they felt that sense of connection and belonging that just is, it's a human need, and you facilitated that in them, which is wonderful. That certainly is one of the things that oftentimes is beneficial about psychotherapy, is just having that sense of being connected to another human being.
Yeah. The idea of connection, I really like, because but before we get back into why it helps so much, I'd like to maybe cover a little bit of like where the ceiling is for talk therapy, because I think
Mm.
it seems in the last 20-30 years there's been a lot of evidence and people realizing like talk therapy does X, Y, and Z. However, it can also be, complemented by A, B, and C to help it, or maybe it doesn't have. So I think we're in the midst of that right now, where talk therapy does and doesn't help. I mean, even there are bad therapists, for
Ah,
example, right? So like, I mean, every now and then, if I feel like I'm stuck with something, will either hire like a mentor or a coach and a therapist, depending on the sector that I want to help with. And I mean, I've had ones that you sit down for your first or second session and they just interrupt you the entire way, and you're like, what are we doing here? And then there's even like friends or family members, and I probably was guilty of this earlier in my life, where someone is telling you a problem or something, and without probing and asking more questions, you start firing off advice because you really want to
mhm,
help, right? And
mhm,
so it comes from a good place, but when it's happened to me, all I feel, to your point, is totally disconnected. Like
mhm,
this person wants to alleviate their anxiety of me not feeling well by just throwing me anything that pops into their head, and instead of probing deeper to maybe learn more about what I'm going through. So all that to say is